Alright ladies and gents, this video was requested for me more than once, therefore I will try to be very expressive and voice only the most important stuff in this video. The things that will either make it or break it for some people out there, on the other side of the screen of course. Please do keep in mind, I don't have a whole lot of experience behind this particular game. I think overall I have roughly about 25 hours in this game, but everything I will mention will solely be based on the beginning experience anyways. At the end of the day, I'd like to voice my opinion about Deadside, especially since many of my subscribers have been literally asking for this video for a very long time, and I've been pushing it out for one reason, and everything will make sense to you as you watch this video. First things first, what is Deadside? It is a survival game that is solely based on PvP experience, so anyone looking to take a break from Rust, or even DayZ in that matter, normally leans more towards Deadside. So that alone should probably give you an idea what Deadside's player base is like. Deadside does few things that are more complex and entertaining compared to DayZ per se, but it also lacks in some other stuff. For instance, to throw a little bit of complexity to its players, Deadside does have AI players roaming around, creating extra obstacles for actual players. Not only do you have to worry about players, but you also have to randomly come across these generated AIs just scavenging for supplies and patrolling multiple areas at the same time, which makes its environment very unpredictable, if you will. Deadside is heavily dependent on missions. As you scavenge around for resources, you will randomly be informed of supply drops and missions available within your area. Those missions will also be visible to other players on the map, so every time you initiate that decision of yours, you ultimately take the risk of being spotted by another player. Now, something I completely dislike about Deadside, and it would be its grind. Not the money making aspect of it, but the base building. Collecting resources and looting seems fun at first, but only up until you realize that you have to store your stuff because you're running out of space. When it comes to base building, it will literally take you hours just to farm for supplies. I'm talking about collecting wood and nails. You'd be running around and smacking those trees for a while just so you can have a 2x2 box that you could potentially call your home. And that one of the things that threw me off right away, almost immediately, honestly. Secondly, transportation. Now, they release boats into the game and it's better than not having anything, of course, but I found that after continuously running from one point of interest to another, it quickly made me get very tired of playing Deadside. And I'm not trying to be overly dramatic or anything, I promise, but it just true. I felt like that. Now, they do have fast travel system between different campsites and stuff, but it does cost money, a lot of it, and you can only travel between a couple of campsites. DayZ is astronomical when it comes to the size of the map in comparison to Deadside, but even in DayZ I didn't feel like this. Now, they also have announced cars in their recent patches and just updates, which means that they will come at some point throughout Deadside's development, so the future is not that bad at all. Just like DayZ, Deadside has plenty of community servers out there, which is actually a really nice thing. If you find yourself more interested in PvE aspect, you'll be more than capable of finding one server that is perfectly designed for you. You can also easily find a roleplay server, which is something I thought was really cool, especially since the beginning can seem a little intimidating at first. Once you find a server you want to make it your home, you place a sign which will restrict other players from building around you. Just a disclaimer, you can't build near safe zones or other places of interest, so you're constantly forced to build in the middle of nowhere. But I guess that's just one way of keeping Deadside's experience fairly fun, which will prevent campers and whatnot. Now, to my knowledge, the way the rating system works is that when you get killed, your base becomes vulnerable at that given point. I only played on PvE servers, so obviously everyone's friendly on those servers, but I'm pretty sure that's how PvP works. If I'm wrong, feel free to correct me down below, of course, but I'm pretty sure the reason they have that intact is to prevent offline raids, which is very important. Main toxic parts of Rust were always offline raids in my opinion. But overall speaking, I think Deadside is actually a really good game. It was just made for a very specific group of players, and unfortunately I don't think I'm a part of it. But I mean, hey, to each their own. I've had Deadside on my Steam account for a little while. I just quickly realized that it was just not for me. But those who do play it consistently, they seem to absolutely love it, and that's the most important thing. Once again, this video is heavily opinionated opinion based. I also understand if it sounds very biased, but since many of you have been asking for my opinion, the least I can do is deliver it to you. So if you have any tips for newcomers, feel free to drop them down below. And as always, this was your boy Roos, and I'm out. Goodbye.